Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Team Edvishan, I, Dr. 𝗦𝗧𝗘𝗠 𝗠𝗱𝗲, the founder of this platform, extend a very warm welcome to all of you to today's Edvishan Sunday Signature Online Workshop. I'm delighted to be joined by my esteemed co-founder, Dr. Vikrant Singhal, whose vision and strategic guidance continue to strengthen Edvishan's journey of impact. Together, we are humbled by the energy, support, and trust that each one of you brings to this platform. It fills our heart with joy to see such enthusiastic participation from educators across India and beyond, all united by one common purpose: to learn, grow, and transform classrooms for the future. At Edvishan, our mission has always been clear: to empower educators with the tools, strategies, and confidence they need to shape young minds in this rapidly changing world. Over the years, our Sunday signature workshops have become a movement of shared learning where every session leaves us with new insights and a stronger community spirit. Today's session, STEM Made Simple, Practical Classroom Strategies for Every Teacher, is specifically close to our vision of making education relevant, innovative, and aligned with ADP 2020. STEM is not just about science, technology, engineering, and math. It's about sparking curiosity, problem solving, and creativity in every child, no matter what level they are at. We are deeply honored to have with us today our esteemed facilitator, Ms. Divya Mehra, a distinguished CBSE resource person and a pedagogical expert. With her rich experience and practical insights, she is here to guide us on how to bring STEM alive in the classroom in a way that is simple, engaging, and doable. So let's keep our minds open, our spirits high, and dive into a session that promises to be interactive, inspiring, and empowering. With that, let me hand it over to our esteemed facilitator, Ms. Divya Mehra, to begin today's workshop. Welcome, Divya, on Edvishan platform. The floor is all yours now.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Really glad to be part of this journey, and thankful for the introduction. Ma'am, as you said, it's quite rightly said that STEM is all about developing curiosity, and that is what we are going to be discussing today. So all the panel, all the people, those who have joined today, a really warm welcome and good evening to everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, I'll just share my screen. Is my screen visible, ma'am?
No.
No. Okay. Okay, is it visible now, ma'am?
In between, it came once.
Okay,
The screen. Now it is not again visible.
Okay, I'll just try it once more.
It is coming. Now you need to make it. Full screen.
I think there's some issue. Just a moment. I'll just present it from here. Is it now fine, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Just a minute,
yes,
Prantik sir, we can see, I think all others can see the screen. Can you all see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Okay, Prantik sir, I think it is a issue with your connection. You just rejoin again. Prantik sir, please rejoin. Yeah. Okay, ma'am, you start.
Yeah. Okay. So dear teachers, as we're joined today to discuss a very important topic, that is STEM in education. As we talk about STEM in education, it's quite a new concept, right? We really get worried, and really it's a troublesome thing that a new topic comes in for us and we automatically get hassled to understand the topic. So today's session is to clear the chaos that we have actually developed around the new introductions that is around us. STEM made simple. So let's talk a little detailed that how basically STEM education can be incorporated in our classes and made it quite convenient and easy for us. To begin with, we discuss about what exactly is STEM. So as per your understanding, right, STEM is an acronym that basically stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. So by and large, everybody's been aware about it. We being in the fraternity, we are already been aware about the new introductions in terms of STEM. Coming to ahead, that how is STEM to be incorporated into our education system and how can it make our lives easier? So understanding the basics of STEM, right? When STEM was being introduced, it was introduced way in US. It was the idea was specifically to bring in the incorporation of what we were already doing. To understand a little, it's specifically not just an acronym for the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It has more depth to it. Till now, our education has always been focused about maths and science. So we have already studied curriculums, and our focus has always been for developing of the two main subjects where the child is supposed to be developing analytical skills within. Looking into that aspect, there's a specific foundation that's the National Science Foundation back in 2001 in US introduced the concept of STEM. Now, what was the idea behind STEM? It was way ahead of just science and education. We had been using technology. We had the idea of engineering as well, but we never thought of integrating it. So the idea of STEM brought in the integration of all of them: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Now, one thing to begin with, yes, it aligns with the NEP 2020. Yes, it's basically experiential based. Yes, it's an interdisciplinary approach. But at the same time, we need to be understanding that it is not a burden or an addition to our timetable or the curriculum that we have already studying. It's specifically a kind of thing that we're already doing, a little innovation to the already aspect of education that we have been following. So when we talk about the subjects, these subjects have already been taught in isolation. Mathematics and science was never been correlated. Engineering and technology has never been associated together. But when the concept of STEM was introduced, the idea was to bring all the four aspects together in an integrated form. And that is what we're going to discuss today. Number of ways in which we can incorporate STEM in our day-to-day lives. So to begin with, STEM is a teaching mindset, not an extra subject. So we need to be looking at it as an innovation, an addition to already what we have been doing, not something as an extra subject that we are going to be studying, right? So as we move further, Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is
Can you see it?
visible.
Yeah, yeah. So as we look at this, you can see there's something different in this product. I think most of us have been dealing with children, so it's very easy for us to comprehend and understand what exactly it is, right? Now, this is specifically a kind of a solar kit. It's a solar energy kit that you can actually see, and it's an incorporation of many things to all the more together. Okay, I think, yeah. Now it's visible. It's the issue with the camera. Just okay, right. So this is basically a solar kit that is specifically been visible to us, right?
I think partially visible.
I'm just removing the blur background. It's still coming blurred. I don't know. Anyways, right. I think by and large you have understood the concept, right? Okay. It's basically an educational kit. You can see partially. You can see actually. Right? Okay. So now this kit specifically is being a solar energy kit that is an incorporation of a tool that students can actually practice in the classroom. What is the idea behind it? It's a robot that is supposed to be made, right? And the robot just now. So you can see the solar panels here. Now this is a robot that is specifically been there, and it's a game. It's a toolkit that is specifically being applicable for children for like 3+ years. They can actually play this, and it's an educational kit. Now the idea behind it is specifically that children need to be practicing this activity at home and been developing their own robot with the help of which solar panels the robot works. It moves. Now, what is the idea behind it? The idea is specifically this is something as a game that is available to children online as well. But when a child has been practically doing it, he is actually developing his skills. Which are the skills he's developing? He's developing curiosity. He's developing his analytical skills. He's developing his problem solving. He's developing his creativity. And in all this, we develop STEM. So the comprehension here is specifically talking about that how are we incorporating these things in our day-to-day lives. STEM education is not just a kind of an approach that you do it in your teaching. It's an addition to the already set mind that yes, we need to bring out a new introduction, new innovation, new change in the mindset that we already are having. And that is where we do not talk about a new subject being introduced. It's an already taught subject that we are doing. It's just a new way of teaching that we're going to be having. Okay? So that is where we talk about STEM education coming into the picture. Yeah. Okay. Right. So that is where we talk about the STEM education coming in the picture. So in a way, when basically I talk about an educational kit, I transformed it into a small game that the child is actually going to be doing. What did I incorporate? I incorporated the science. There are solar panels being involved. A child should be knowing about the solar panels, how they've been utilized. I'm talking about the technology. It is going to be working model. So already there is a technology that has been associated with it. A child is going to manufacture it. There is an engineering behind it, right? And there's mathematical calculation because he need to understand how to implant it together. So that's an incorporation of the scientific field that we're having, STEM. And that is where we take up certain examples which we can practically do it in a classroom also. To begin with, let's do a small activity. You are sitting here in a room, and I think possibly you can just look around. And if possible, you can write it in the chat box, any one STEM object that you can see. I just showed you one example of mine. It possibly can be your laptop or possibly your cell phone. So this is my cell phone. So possibly it's my STEM device that I have. Any of one of the STEM objects.
Mobile phone, laptop.
Right. Anything else apart from it? This is the most common thing that we have around us. We have a lamp in our room. We have a digital access to like a television has been there, laptops are there, cell phones are there, cameras are there. So all these things have been there. Anything extra anybody would like? A digital clock, right? Rightly said, ma'am. There's a fan, very nice.
Synthesizer.
Okay, right. Anything else? So it's just a way to look around. You just have to look around yourself that like, wow, what are the things that we have been having with STEM?
Air conditioner.
Okay, right, air conditioner, ma'am. Yes, very rightly said. Then anything else anybody would like to add on? Okay. So it's a way to see around us. Now, as you people have looked around yourselves, yes, a calculator, very nicely. Yes, Meeta ma'am, thank you so much for mentioning. A calculator, that's the best example for a STEM. Since the beginning, STEM education was not being introduced, but we always used to be associating STEM with a calculator. You know why? Because it has all the elements of science, technology, mathematical, and engineering together. So calculator has been the introduction of STEM, how that we can associate ourselves with. Right. So as you have shared a number of examples, I think now you can associate and correlate the concept that STEM is around us. It's not something new. It's an already thing that we were been doing. It is a thing that is available to us. Just introduction of it is an addition and an understanding that we need to develop as educators. And as we develop an understanding, automatically we will be able to better explain it to our children as well. Correct? So as we move further, we see around us that yes, it's a way of things that we need to see differently, but the things were already there. Right? So moving ahead, as we have already understood the concept of STEM, right? Okay. So we have been creating a STEM lab. Now we will be understanding how STEM lab has been created. Now, as an educator, my first question that comes is why there is a requirement for STEM in my everyday classroom. Okay. Now, why do I need to have it? The idea behind is that basically, as I've already discussed, it's not just an individual approach anymore. Children in our classroom have been learning with a collaborative learning that everybody is learning together. So what do? We basically work on number of elements that we are having, be it problem solving, be it creativity, be it communication, be it collaborative learning, be it specifically analytical skills. All these things are supposed to be the new introductions as per the NEP 2020 to be incorporated into the teaching practices. So how do we incorporate? We incorporate it in the curriculum. We incorporate in the teaching learning process. We incorporate in the classroom. So idea is to introduce STEM in a way where the child involves in more amount of self-learning, self-understanding, and self-knowing. Why it is important? It has been important because everyone around us is supposed to be learning from each other. And that is what it teaches us. So to look at, if you can see, so STEM specifically is not talking about just making learning by real. It is specifically by the concept of understanding that we have been having, right? So it's a 21st century skill. It's a part of NEP being introduced for the same reason, so that we can actually develop the next generation. The STEM introduction into the classroom is basically empowering our next generation. And how do we do that? So that's the biggest question. So how do I incorporate STEM education into the system? We have a number of STEM courses these days, and all this has been incorporated just because new introductions in terms of the education has been taking place, but how to deal with it is not being taught to the educators. So that is where we dive in to understand the concept that how do we introduce this thing. Now, apart from building curiosity, creative thinking, teamwork, students need to be prepared for the 21st century skills. Idea of STEM was that the child develops their skill on its own. A teacher is a facilitator here. I am supposed to guide the child. I will be giving an activity to the child. It is he who is going to be basically doing it, practicing it, thinking about it, making it wrong, then going to be correcting it. My work as a teacher is a facilitator here. Okay. Now, why it is important? Because it gives a start to the child that I am the sole one responsible here. So it's making the learning real, more relevant, and making the child future ready. When I do learning by doing, when I talk about experiential learning, it's all about an initiative by the child. If a teacher has been doing it, ultimately it's the child who's just watching. Passive learning has always been a part of the education system ever since. We have already seen in the classes, in a lecture method, in a discussion method, it's just a giveaway to the children. STEM introduces the concept of doing. STEM introduces the concept of managing. STEM introduces the concept of introducing, that the child learns on its own. And that is the skill that we are working on. So to work with and making the children future ready, making more relevant to this concept, STEM has been introduced into the classes, and it needs to be introduced so that our children are developing more with curiosity rather than just by reading textbooks. So you can understand the concept by like more of a 3D world rather than just a 2D world. So our textbooks are mainly 2D. Theory learning, rote memorization, writing in the examination, done. Now, STEM gives a 3D look to the world. There's an analysis, there is a viewpoint, there is a dimension to every other thing that we're doing. That's what STEM brings in to us. Now, when we talk about STEM, initially back in 2001, STEM was being introduced, but further we have an introduction to other terms also. I hope you must have heard about. Has anybody heard about STEAM or STREAM? These are some new introductions. Have you heard about it? Any one of you? Have you people heard about the term STREAM or STEAM? It's a new introduction. STEM was just an introduction that was in 2001, but now new things are added and incorporated to it. Anyone? You can give me a yes if in case you've just heard about it also. Further, I'll elaborate. Yes. STEAM, yes. Ma'am has written yes. No, okay.
Yes, I have heard STEAM, about STEAM.
Very nice. Anybody else? No. Okay, really nice. If it is a no, it's all the more really nice. Right. Okay. So you must have heard about it, or you partially know about the things. Today we are going to be decoding it. Like what exactly is the difference between STEM, STEAM, and STREAM? Let's have a look. Okay. So talking about STEM, it was basically science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Coming up with an A basically was for arts. A stand for the incorporation of arts, storytelling, creativity that specifically was supposed to be an added element to the system. Till now, we were talking about just doing STEM, that is incorporation of how mathematics and science were being incorporated with technology and engineering. Coming up of A was making it more inclusive because children have diverse learning strategies. Children do learn by diverse means and mediums. So it's not just by writing and theoretical or specifically by visual learners. We can basically have some creative learners as well. So designing, even with the audio learners that we have been having, storytelling is an incorporation with the help of STEAM, that is STAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. This was being incorporated around 2006 and again by the National Science Foundation. It was in US. The incorporation was being done from STEAM to it was being done as STEAM. Furthermore, today, the present introduction has been done to STREAM. Now, what is the R? R has been referring to research. It refers to reading. It refers to robotics. I just now showed you an example where I had a solar robot that was supposed to be run on the solar panels being installed. And with the help of a sun only, the robot is supposed to work. Now the child needs to assemble that. Robotics has been a new introduction because science and technology needs to be incorporated in the new world. And the future of tomorrow is the robots. Ever since the scientists have been working on bringing a new concept with robots, and that is what STREAM brings in. STREAM brings in the incorporation of how robotics and research, for that matter, AI in education. We're talking about new apps. We'll be discussing certain apps today also. certain websites also that is going to make our work easier. So when we talk about this, we specifically talk about the new introductions into the education system. Why it is important? It's specifically important just because of the trending things that have been coming up. We need to match up with the present generation. We need to be matching up with the future goals. And that is why STEM has been introduced into stream now. So that's a new introduction. It's good for everybody understanding the use of science and technology, which is very important in today's world, because we have introductions, but how to be basically using it, I need to go back into the depth of it. And that is what research brings in. So from STEM to STEAM to STREAM, the education has evolved to spark innovation, creativity, and future readiness. So you can understand the approach that is required for the today's children, so that basically they can learn with this process. So I think people, those who are not been aware or those who have been partially aware, are clear now. Can you understand now what is the difference between a STEM and a STREAM or a STEAM process? I would appreciate a yes, then I can move further. Okay, right. Thank you so much. So going back ahead, so this is a basic introduction to STEM that we need to know about. Now let's bring into the practical approach that how do I introduce it into the classroom? Let's begin with science first. Okay, yeah, it's visible on the screen, right? Okay. Now, moving ahead, let's introduce the first among the topics for STEM, that is specifically science. Now, as science has already been a subject with physics, chemistry, and biology, right? Children do not have an practical approach towards a lot of things. We do go to labs. We understand the idea of physics, that how specifically the things have been working. But the practicality of it has been way changed over the years that we have today. So let's dive a little bit into it. So you have the introduction of science as a new strategy has been incorporated. So you can see an example here given on the screen. The idea here is a lemon, and the lemon, we have a coin, and with the help of it, we have been actually lighting up an LED. So science teachers here will be able to understand what I'm trying to say. It's basically a reaction. It's basically the chemical energy that is being turned into electrical here. And this incorporation is specifically to bring in the more innovative ways in which we can basically bring the practicality of an experiment in the classroom. Now, there are different ways in which we can incorporate the science strategies in the classroom. Firstly, a science corner can be made. Now, why the science corner has been important? Like a small corner with for example, a small item, for example, a magnet, some seeds, balloons for that matter, mirrors, these kinds of things can be kept in your classroom as a science corner. Now, why it is important? So the child experiments. Looking at things being kept as a corner, a science corner in your classroom is going to be giving a curiosity level to the child to go and experiment, to try. So I have few straws with me and a piece of paper. And what I did was I specifically made a model of hand. How do I do it? I cut out a piece of paper of hand, added up straws to it, and added up strings to each of the hand, to each of the finger. And then I'm actually pulling it. So what exactly happens? The fingers are been actually moving along with it. It's specifically a design model by a child itself. I'm sharing an example that has been a design model by a child. How does it happen? When the child tries on its own. So science corners for science incorporation in the classroom is a suitable best example that you people can have. Why so? Because it basically gives you an idea that the child can go experiment and try to bring out something new. Right? All the more they can develop some observational journals also. So as I've been doing an experiment, children usually have a habit of noticing and writing. Many of them have. So journal being maintained where they can specifically write really their observations, or specifically like how the sunlight has been bending around an area and how shadows have been changing. Something like how food is being like spoiled if left outside. It's basic observation that a child makes in a day-to-day life, possibly at home or in school. Idea is to write it down. Students should be encouraged to make journals. Now, these observational journals are quite important because this gives them a viewpoint to look into it, that how they have been observing different patterns. And yes, they create something new. This is something that really takes place and it happens. One such demo example is there on the screen as well. So it's a very simple yet a very powerful activity for children to really develop curiosity and innovation. Now all you need is a lemon, a coin, and a nail, and an LED light, right? Students will be amazed to see that how a fruit has been helping to generate electricity. It's very low cost, very handy. You can just take it into the classroom and just show it to the students also. A very beautifully built up concept, right? So now what is the idea? I am been showcasing a child that how specifically electricity has been generated of it, right? I'll just showcase you here in the classroom as well. So you have it on the screen that you will be able to see how specifically lemon has been ultimately leading to the change of electricity to it. Just have a look here. Okay. Can you see it on the screen right now? Yeah. So this is specifically a lemon, a coin, and that is being incorporated. This is an activity that you can possibly do it in your classrooms also to generate a kind of a curiosity among the students that how practically this is being done. So just have a look here. Can you see it? How interesting it is for the children? A simple activity of a lemon and a coin, and it can be practically been done in the classroom itself. Now, how do we involve STEM in this? The science behind it, that how specifically you can be using it, like a lemon, how is it working? You need to be understanding how the electric currents have been actually passing through. The technology behind it, you can show the demonstration on the television to the children just the way I did right now. So you're showcasing them how it has actually done. It's been done. You can actually view that thing. The engineering behind it, because the children will manually do this thing. It's a collaborative learning where children will work in teams, and it's a engineering thing that possibly everybody is going to come together to practice. The mathematical science behind it. How long should be the nail? What is the depth to which you are going to be incorporating the coin in it? What should be the length of the wire, LED light? So what kind of an LED light should it? All this basically involves a kind of a STEM education. One of the basic, common, simple ways that you can incorporate in your classes. Most common. I think you people can vary. It's an integrated subject with all classes. It's not just related to only math and science specifically. It's with reference to all, because STEM is about integration to all of subjects. It's not just purely science. But we are discussing science round right now here, so that is why a related example to it. One such example is also about, if you would like to watch, it specifically talks about the mixing of vinegar and baking soda. So do we have some science teachers here? Do we have some science teachers here? Anyone from the science field? Okay, anyone from science here? Okay, anyways. So, yes, ma'am. Okay, so we have one respective teacher. Yes, we have a number of them. So, teachers, as a concept of vinegar along with baking soda, what does it does? Can you please just mention, even if you want to mention in the chat box, that will be fine. What is the concept of baking soda and vinegar? What does it do? Anyone? How basic baking soda is specifically been helping along with vinegar to add on and bring up a chemical reaction. Would you like to add on?
Yes, I want to. As baking soda is acetic acid,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
baking soda is in scientifically term it is sodium bicarbonate. And when
Yes,
we
right.
do the reaction by mixing both of them, we got this water and carbon dioxide
Correct.
product.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for
You're
adding on.
welcome.
Now, a
You're
beautiful
welcome.
example that ma'am has really highlighted here. Right. We incorporate this in the classroom. Just have a look how. We have a simple activity where basically we have been showcasing that how with the in a bottle I am been adding up. What am I adding here? I'm adding up some baking soda and vinegar to it. And what is the reaction that it does? We have added up a balloon on top of the water bottle, right? And you can see the incorporation. What is it doing? The carbon dioxide released from this mechanism. So you can see the formula being written on the paper as well. The carbon dioxide released from this the reaction that has been taking place is adding up and filling up the balloon, and it's getting bloated now. So you can see how the gas is being created because of it, and the balloon is getting bloated. So can you see how the correlation is being taking place? I hope it's clearly like full visible. I should be doing full screen here. Yeah. So you can see how specifically a simple action can bring out a way in which specifically you can show this scale in the classroom itself. So you are seeing a baking soda, and you are seeing specifically how its incorporation is being done. So this is it's a scientific reaction I've been showcasing in my classroom just to my children so that they can understand how I can understand science. So not very a very difficult thing, not very something that I cannot bring it into my classroom, not something that is actually going to be really harmful for the children also. An easy going activity to be done in the classroom, and it's a go. Children basically understand the concept so easy. STEM introduces the idea of adding up to the child's knowledge so they can practically see the things and learn. It's not an added curriculum to our syllabus. It's not something that is an added lesson plan. Yes, of course, you have a detailing of the activity to be done, but it can be done with a simple lemon or simply just adding up vinegar and baking soda in your classroom also. That's how you incorporate it. It's your idea of understanding things, right? So that is how we understand the concept of the adding up of the things incorporated in science. Okay, we have Dr. Preeti. Thank you so much, ma'am, for mentioning. Right. So I think the science teachers can correlate, and I'm doing justice to it. What I'm trying to share as an example here. So these are some small things. Possibly you can do it in your classroom to bring on and develop that curiosity among students, because these are some incorporations that we need to learn. We need to know. We need to understand how these things work. And simple as that. It's very easy for our comprehension and understanding. Moving further ahead. So these are some small examples in which science can be incorporated. As we have science teachers here, they can very well understand what I'm trying to say. How introduction of these science corner and introduction of specifically observation journals. These are some small things that can be practically done in the classroom. Not to overburden yourself. Teachers really feel that it is it's a very difficult task for to hold on to the children in the classroom. And why it is difficult? Because children expect experiments to be very big, huge, a lab to be there for that that reason, or it cannot be done in the classroom. See, the incorporation of technology has been done for the same reason. I do not have to bring the children to the labs every possible time. I'll even show you some applications which you can incorporate and do it in the classroom itself. You don't have to take children to the labs. It's very nice. I'll be showcasing you that as well. Anyways, I think so this is how science can be incorporated into our strategies, right? Can we move ahead now? Let's move on to the next one. That's technology. And this technology is the new booming thing. Everybody wants to like understand technology. It's very important for us to understand technology. Okay. Okay, so we have a question from Priyanka ma'am. Ma'am, I am an AI and IT instructor and I have no science background. How does it help me? Ma'am, the next slide is actually for you only. Right. So let's move ahead. Moving on to technology now. Okay. Now, how does incorporation of technology makes our life easier under the STEM education? Understanding it, let's have a look. Now, the practical approach here is specifically talking about introduction of technology. Now, how does technology help? We know that it's not easy for everybody to understand technology. It's because its incorporation is difficult. Its incorporation is that demands an understanding, and yes, it's new. So as it is new to you, it is new to the children also. So we need to make them learn to use the technology in the rightest way. Because if you do not tell, because there are a lot of free digital tools, if you do not teach them which are the right ones, they will ultimately lead up and end up to be giving a lot of information about themselves online, which is not safe. Right. So we talk about here is what are the digital tools that possibly can be added up. Now, we bring in the first digital tool that we're going to be talking about is a website named 𝗞𝗏𝗃, right? Let's have a look at this. It's one of the beautiful incorporations. Ma'am, the AI instructor, ma'am, Miss Priyanka, this is for you, ma'am. Please have a look. So the idea of bringing technology into the given picture is so that specifically my work becomes easier as a facilitator. I am not going to run behind the children to bring everything to the classroom. They're bringing the needles, they're bringing lemon and everything that is supposed to be incorporated for doing that activity to be the classroom. It's not required. What do I do is I generate technology stimulations in my classroom. How do I do it? Please have a look. Okay, is it visible on your screen? Can you see the screen here? Right. Now, this is an interactive site. I can share the link in the chat box as well. Okay, for all of you to search about it. Now, it's basically for stimulation. Right. Now, what do we here? Sorry, we do here. Now, you can see this. This is called the site called the 𝗞𝗏𝗃. It's an interactive simulation site, right? You have a number of modules that you have been having, and it's very interesting. See, you have for physics, you have for mathematics and statistics, you have chemistry, you have earth space, you have biology. Anyone with a question? Anybody saying something? Okay, I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, okay. So now this is a site. Everybody can search. These are simulations. Now, what does it do? It's something that can be incorporated in your classroom. A beautiful website. Most of the schools are usually having digital boards these days. Now you can incorporate this and do it in the classroom. For example, let's try with the greenhouse effect. Okay, I'll just showcase you how it works. One example I'll show you. There are a number of them: physics, maths, science teachers. Like they can go through it, and the AI technology teachers can help the mathematics and science teachers to learn about this thing. How does it happen? Say, for example, we are talking about the waves, how the waves are being absorbed by, if you have a cloud around you, right? The waves are specifically supposed to be absorbed by the cloud before it reaches to the earth, right? That's the scientific understanding, that's geographical understanding. It's mathematical understanding as well. Length of the wavelength, how much it is, how much is reflected back, how much is absorbed, the mathematical understanding as well. And now we have technology in front of you. Now you see, we are having the start of sunlight. The sunlight has started to come in. Now, as you can see, the sunlight is being not very clear, be absorbed. As you can see a cloud there, right? And as you have a cloud, what is it doing? It is reflecting back. It is reflecting back. So not exactly the whole amount of sunlight is reaching to the earth, less is reaching. Now I can reduce and see the amount of greenhouse effect that we've been having. So this is my greenhouse concentration. I've reduced it. So you can see the effect on the screen. So the radiation has reduced. As soon as my greenhouse effect is been increasing, so you can see the amount of heat that has been getting released. Can you see that? You can see the temperature here. And these are some modules that you people can handle of your own to make the children understand. I don't need a cloud. What will happen if there's no cloud? So you can see the difference. Can you see this? So what do we have done? We have just simply show the surface temperature. So the temperature, you can see the temperature. I want it in Celsius. So it's basically coming up in Celsius. You can see the temperature been rising and changing as soon as the greenhouse effect concentration has been increasing. A beautiful demonstration, easy to understand, good comprehension. And that's how specifically it can be incorporated. Interesting. So you have a number of them. You can go through it. There are a number of simulations that you have it on the screen. This is one just I shared with you. So we do not have that much time that we can explain a number of them, but yes, of course, it's something as an incorporation that we can do. This is how technology is being basically incorporated. Teachers have been asking for English and for accountancy. Ma'am, technologies in terms of various subjects is been different. So like, for example, for English, we have 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗃. It's an application that gives us a summary to the textbook. For example, you have a poem or you have a chapter, literature chapter. What it does is basically bring out the summary to the overall content. You just you have to just put the PDF in that content. It simplifies, it makes a flowchart out of it. It's very easy. And with reference to accountancy, again, you can actually have a summarization of the content with the help of applications and websites like Padlet. You have specifically 𝗦𝗶𝗃. These are AI tools. That is not AI tools, basically digital tools, right? Which helps you. AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini simplifies the content for you people. Number of applications that can simplify your content is depending upon the availability of it. So you search along, you have number of AI tools. You want me to name a few, I can mention a few of them to you. It is actually going to help you in as per the subject, it might vary. Say, for example, for mathematics, I'll just showcase you on the screen. One such tool is specifically known as 𝗬𝗫𝗀. I do have a maths teachers here. Do we have many maths teachers here? Yes, okay. So we have maths teachers here, ma'am. You can actually have a look here. Say, for example, this application is really important for you to be practically doing the graphical analysis in your classroom. How does it help? 𝗬𝗫𝗀, basically, you can show up the calculation. Say, for example, we can take up one of them, right? So we have x square plus y square, okay, equals to 1. So you have the demonstration on the screen. I do not need a graph. I don't have to draw it on the board. I can use the digital technology and showcase into my classroom itself. Teachers, those who are into the AI education, you can teach your own teachers in your school how they can use number of subjects can be utilized with the help of different education apps. There are a number of them.
Yes.
So yes, you can actually use them in your classes, and you can help the teachers also to develop this. And even coding has become a kind of a live thing. We'll be discussing about that further as well, that how coding can be generated and helped as a simulation for children in the classroom itself. So this is one that is a mathematical app. Same, it can go for the other subjects also. You have other subjects. Now this is technology integration. What have I done? I have not taken up a graph. I have not done anything on the board. It's simply my digital tool that is helping me do the analysis, making the graph on the screen. A classroom of 40 to 50 to 60 to 80 students can actually watch from the screen and learn. It's that effective, right? So that is how an incorporation of the technology can help you find out new ways in understanding how we can bring up education system into the mainstream. So you have a number of ways in which you can follow this. And that is how it can be been applied to your classroom themselves. So we have applications like 𝗬𝗫𝗀. We have AR and VR applications. So if you go to the AR and VR concept, AR and VR is the augmented reality and the virtual reality. What am I doing? I'm in a classroom. I'm taking on a virtual tour to the child, say for example, to Taj Mahal. So he's not going anywhere. He's just having a look at the digital screen in front of him. And the AR and the VR is actually going to take him for a tour. So that's how digital technology is being incorporated to the system, right? So this is how we talk about the incorporation of digital tools, AI tools. We have a number of them. For that, you need to have and attend a separate session, which basically talks about your AI in education.
Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry
Yes,
to
ma'am.
disturb you.
Ma'am, I
Okay.
just wanted to know just a Google Forms. If we are using it Google Form, we need email IDs of every students, right? Because we are using it. But in the sometimes there is no internet connection in the computer labs. So how will we use this Google Forms without internet? Can we use the Google Forms in the
Um,
PHET website? Can use this for
okay.
the Google
Ma'am,
Forms also?
usually what we do is we use Google Forms for children to be filling something that is from home. Like
Yes,
for
ma'am.
example, I have Google Classroom. So what do I do is
Yes.
I start up a Google Classroom where I
Yeah,
add up
we are
my
sending them the worksheets for to complete this from the Google form, right?
okay.
But I want to take the test which we are going to conduct in the classroom. Oh, because my
Hmm.
subject is like the students are don't want to write anything on the paper.
Okay. Wait, what
So
is the
I
subject, ma'am?
want, yeah, it's AI in IT
Okay, okay,
info.
okay, in IT. Right, right. So, ma'am,
So
specifically, you already know that Google Forms also have different ways in which they are MCQs and a test can be generated,
yes,
open-ended
ma'am.
tests.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So, your concern is the children are not been attempting it.
No, they don't want to write in the pen and paperwork. So I want to
Okay.
take the test on the in the computer lab, but there is no internet
Mm-hmm.
connection. So I have
Okay.
such a problem to make sure that Google from how they conduct the test on the lab, computer lab on the computers
Okay. Okay. So,
without internet.
you usually what happens is, ma'am, individual connections, we are being coming from diverse backgrounds. So we don't belong to
Yes,
places where specifically everybody has a laptop or all the schools have that accessibility. So we need to understand
yes.
there can be different ways. One thing can be possibly that you make a Google form and you display it on the digital board.
Okay,
And
ma'am.
the children are basically writing up the answers on the sheet, right? Mostly because it's
Okay.
usually a statement-based question or MCQ question.
Yeah,
If the
ma'am.
child has been attempting on its own, they need to log in with their email ID.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
that is where there. So this incorporation can be done, or Google Forms or Google Links can be shared when the children are at home. Something as
Yes,
to take
ma'am.
a feedback, or for
Uh,
that matter,
can
to
I
conduct a
add?
small test. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Actually, the Google form can be downloaded and you can be used offline. Okay, there is an option available when you are creating the Google form. An option is available that how you can use it offline. Okay, if there is no internet connection, you can download the Google form, and without
Yes,
the
ma'am.
internet connection, you can use that offline.
Okay, can we? Okay, in offline, I'll make one Google form and install in every computer system. So in offline form, okay, they can submit all the forms. So how could I check them?
Ma'am, they will have to again submit it through online procedure only because you will have to mail
Oh,
them.
that is
Only for
ah
Ultimately, there is
that is
writing
internet
fine.
purpose,
required.
yes. Only for writing purpose
Ultimately, you
or
need it.
purpose.
Ah, yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. So
It's
that
not
is this.
that all the time without internet it can happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Ultimately, you have to send it through once the child is filling in, he has
But
to send it through
Or
the
they
you
have
email
can
to
only.
look
send
at
through
home.
a WhatsApp group
Google
also.
Classroom also. Well,
Yeah.
Google Classroom
Yeah,
also you
ma'am.
can upload it on. That is also a way. So most probably you can. There's just different strategies. Ultimately, the idea is to simplify the work, whichever suits in your locality, in the society, in your surroundings, whatever suitable conditions have been there around you, you will have to work according to that only, and you
Yeah,
have to
ma'am.
find out solutions.
Okay, ma'am.
So
Thank you so
yeah.
much.
So introducing the technological strategy. So we have discussed a number of the AR and VR apps. You search it on Google. Google Earth is the best application that you have. Sitting here, I can basically take on a virtual tour to around the world to the children. I can show them Eiffel Tower. I can specifically show them the president's house. I can show them the White House. So all these things are specifically very easy with the help of technology. As facilitators, as educators, we need to learn and know how to use it before we showcase it to the students, because if we do not know how to do it, obviously the child can misuse it and it can lead a lot of to a problems also. Because what is the child does is the Google Earth mein he sabse pehle he looks for his own house. Where is my house? So that's one of the most common things, and then he's going to look for his friend's house. So it's beyond that. Google Earth is beyond that as well. Creating an AR and VR environment for them basically helps them to learn a lot about the earth, the dimension, and only technology can help in that regard, right? So as we are talking about technology integrations, number of ways in which possibly it can be done is QR codes. I think restaurants have also started to apply this strategy where they don't have menus anymore. They have QR codes. You scan it, it's going to come it on your phone. You order it accordingly there. You pay on your phone itself. It's STEM. It's actually STEM education, if you understand it. So that is what I'm telling you. We are practically doing things in our day-to-day lives on STEM. We do not know that it is STEM. As soon as a new term is introduced, we really get hassled and really worried that something new has come up. I don't know how to do it. What is it? I cannot incorporate it. This is difficult for me. But it's actually, we are already doing these things. We just need to know so that basically nobody can make a fool of us. So that is what understanding is all about. So QR and codes, you can share it with the help of links. You can share it in the form of a scanner, and students can even access it to watch various quizzes or videos. So this is the best way. Even in a worksheet that I'm making, what I do is specifically incorporating a QR code. What does the child does? He does the assignment, and to have an enhanced understanding, he's actually scanning up the QR code, reaching up to the YouTube video. So this is a worksheet that is going to his home. So the child is having an accessibility. It's the digital incorporation, technological cooperation into my worksheet. So he's doing and solving up the sums, and at the same time, one QR code, and he's reaching up to the quiz directly. And then he is doing it as an assessment or a test, or possibly he is actually taking up a video presentation for that also. So ma'am, even you can do this thing that you were asking. In a worksheet, you can actually put up a QR code. They will be doing the quiz at home. So that's the best way. They can scan it, and then you get a record of it also. That's also one of the ways that you can possibly incorporate it. Anyway, so this is how, this is how technology basically incorporates into our education system. So technology doesn't always mean devices. It means thinking digitally. And that is what we discussed right now here. It's digital innovation that we have incorporated by just a mere discussion here, that how we can bring up a change, right? And so we talk about a number of ways how technology has been basically being incorporated. Moving ahead to the engineering part. So ST, now coming to E. Engineering basically talks about building. How do I build? So this building can be games, puzzles. And how do I show it in my classroom? I can show by mere activities of using a paper, or basically a marble throwing. I hope everybody has done that activity. We used to get that Hot Wheels car where the children were basically supposed to be connecting up the tracks, and the Hot Wheel was supposed to be falling upward. What was it? It was a marble move. It's a marble run. What exactly happens? I'm basically showing the movement of a particular object from one place to another. And I can show them how, if it is basically of a high-heighted one, it is low-heighted, or it is very low-heighted, what will be the intensity of which the marble is actually going to run over. So you can see it on the screen as well. So this is how we talk about the introduction. Okay, so we have ma'am saying that I use GeoGebra for teaching quadrilaterals in the classroom. Really nice, ma'am. So I think it is making your work easier. Yeah. Is the screen visible, right? Yes, okay, it's visible, right? Okay, getting back. Yeah. So next we come up to the engineering part, right? So coming up with engineering, we have a number of ways in which we can use paper in the classroom to basically showcase engineering models. Now, we don't have to, engineering is not all about buildings and bridges and all about just bigger structures and infrastructure. When we use the term engineering, this is something that comes to our mind, and it becomes difficult for us to comprehend and understand. So have a better understanding. We're going to be talking about just practical engineering strategies, right? Here, engineering is being referring to building. That building can be with the help of a paper. It can be with the help of a marble rock. It can be helped with a straw that can be incorporated. So you can see it on the screen also here, that how specifically we are using the different ways in which we are using engineering in a classroom. So we will be actually going through it also. One such example, which demonstration that you can do it in your classroom, demo idle, a paper bridge challenge. You can see it on the screen as well. This is a paper bridge challenge. What do? I am actually using notebooks, a piece of paper, and I'm demonstrating in the classroom how a coin is supposed to be moving if I'm basically just taking over the paper from beneath it. What does it does? It basically gives the children a good way of understanding. Now, what is the understanding? They enjoy looking at these things in the classroom. Why? Because it's fun. It's interesting. And yes, of course, it's good for them to know also that how this thing works. Right? So why? Because this engineering model can work in your classrooms for children to understand the science behind it, to know that how understanding the technology, that how this is been working, to understand the engineering, that I just took a piece of paper and a notebook to be practically doing this activity in the classroom. And yes, of course, the mathematics skills behind it, that what should be the length of the paper, what should be the height of the notebook, how many coins do you have to place as per the weight, analysis of how these things can basically incorporate in your classrooms. So it's a quick paper. You can take up a screenshot and practice this activity in your classroom also. So it's an idea of developing creativity along with problem solving techniques. Like, why it is important? Because with the help of this, the children basically understand how designing can be done in the classroom itself. It's not merely incorporating the challenges, but yes, of course, just with a A4 size sheet paper, 2 books and some coins and a small object, right? You just have to place the sheet flat between the 2 books and test how many coins it can hold on. A very simple, interesting activity, and the children really become a part of it. You just try it in a classroom and you see how many coins it can hold on. And you can see the whole class is actually going to come forward to be watching over. So it's that interesting. Simple, mere activities that you can possibly do in your classrooms just to generate curiosity among the children. So as you see, right, so you have a demonstration of a paper bridge being made up, paper towers, marble run. Now the reflection is, why does some of the designs hold on to it and the others don't? Right? So there is a difference in terms of how some of the designs are basically holding on to the content, the paper, the coin is being able to be steady and stable, and the others are not. So there's science behind it. The child is actually going to search about the concept. This is physics around it. Then there's specifically the weight of the paper, mathematical engineering has been incorporated. Then talking about it, technology, with the help of this, I can show the children more amount of incorporated videos or presentations, how this is helping them to understand things. Just a different approach, something we are already doing in the classroom. Let's have a look. So you have a small concept of understanding how to make a paper bridge. Please have a look at the screen. Right. So you just have a look at how a paper bridge is supposed to be made. So this is 2 sides notebooks that we have been having, and you can see a coin has been kept in the center and the paper is not been able to hold. What are we doing? It's basic engineering, right? And then you are showcasing how, so you're increasing the number of coins and the paper is not being able to hold. It's simple paper bridge. It's a designing, it's an engineering concept. What am I doing? It's simple understanding of the concept. Child is observing it carefully. He will be developing curiosity, how specifically the things are being actually weighing down. So what do I do is, I change the size of the bridge. It's not a flat one anymore. I'm changing up the dimension. I have actually flipped it and made it up. Will it be able to hold on to the more number of coins now? Just have a look. So I've changed the engineering behind the plain paper. It's changed now. So you just have a look. Now more coins have been placed. Is it able to hold? Right? Simple, basic engineering concept. Now you see the number of coins the paper is able to hold. One piece of paper, right? Was a straight paper between the 2 books. It was not able to hold on to the coins. You change the dynamics engineering behind it, and you try with children, they are going to use their brains on their own. They will do it. You are not going to tell them anything. They will try, and they're going to bring out something new, and they're going to incorporate that and show you, ma'am, देखो हमने कर दिया. This is something that can be done in the class. Simple concept. Interesting. So this is something that you people can do it in your own classes as well. A mere understanding of the concept, very easy, very innovative. And yes, of course, easy to catch on to the children's curiosity also in the classes. Right. Thank you, Ritu ma'am. Moving ahead, so this is how engineering basically comes into the picture, how I can actually devise engineering concepts into my education system. And again, STEM has incorporation of all of these. A beautiful simulation in the classroom. You just have to showcase the children and they're going to bring out wonders. You don't want to tell them also. They will try and test and do it on your own. And they show it to you, ma'am, we have done this. And you will be surprised that we could not think of that angle. The child has thought of, which is quite surprising. And you will see that they bring out new challenges and ways to showcase this thing. So paper towers, straw bridges, marble run, some of the good engineering concepts, easy, low cost, very handy, easily can be done in the classroom. I don't have to have big pictures and big models to bring it in the classroom to bring a different change. Not required. Simple concept, very easy. Okay, so I've given a demonstration for you people also. Paper bridge challenge. You can take a screenshot, practice, try it in the classroom. Ultimately, child will develop his own problem solving skills. You don't have to develop. He is going to bring out an answer to you, ma'am, this is the solution. And you see, they are going to work together. See the number of ways they are going to be giving you suggestions. Ma'am, this can be done, this can be done. And they all will be grouping together to do this activity. That's called collaborative learning. So you can take a screenshot if you wish to, specifically talking about and involving the creativity and problem solving skills with the engineering concept. Moving ahead. The next we talk about is mathematics. So we have a number of maths teachers here. Incorporation of mathematics, as ma'am already mentioned that she has been using GeoGebra. You have a number of AI tools as well for mathematics, which can enhance your way of learning and teaching in the classroom. Now, something apart from the AI tools, I basically discuss here, how do I measure the objects? Simple technique, a simple way of calculating how rainfall can be measured. I have a rain gauge. I hope you have heard about a rain gauge. It's just a measuring instrument. The number of water droplets been adding up to it, it basically tells how much was the rainfall. Simple concept, very easy. Now, this is a mathematical incorporation in my classroom. I belonging to something that is being done. Say, for example, I'm teaching weather or climate to them, and I'm incorporating mathematics. It's called integration. STEM is all about integration. It's not restricted to just STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's more beyond to it. It's just how I incorporate these things to bring out a new change into the education that we have been following. So we have, after engineering, we have technology. Yeah. Okay. So this integration of mathematics, right? We have the teaching of angles. I'll show you some different innovative ways. We already know that it's a sports period. Children can basically go and you can give an activity of them to be writing on the scores. That's basic mathematical ability. In the classroom, you can tell them to take an attendance. Basic mathematical ability. Some real world examples, possibly which we can observe in our day-to-day life. How to bring out a change. The new aspect to is the introduction of games and puzzles. We introduce to you origami geometry. Now, what does it means? Just have a look here. Origami geometry basically talks about how with a piece of paper, I can actually showcase the children different ways in which they can modify and create something. Just a moment, I'll just share a picture with you. Is it visible on the screen?
No, ma'am.
So we have some different innovative ways that can be used. Okay, so this is origami geometry. I'll just showcase to you on the screen. Just let me know in case it is visible to all of you. This is a mathematical skill teachers can incorporate in their classes. Okay, now is it visible? Is it visible now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now this is called origami geometry. Now what does it mean? Origami geometry basically talks about, it's a Japanese concept. Here we basically yeah, am I audible? Okay, I hope you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this origami has been come up out of a Japanese concept where they take a piece of paper and basically make 3D models or dimensions out of it. Now, origami geometry looks difficult, but is actually not that difficult. It develops a good analytical skill among the children because they observe really carefully. They do ensure that they understand the overall dynamics of how a model is being made. So you can see some examples. This looks a little complex, but I purposely took up this picture for you to incorporate STEM so that you can understand there's a mathematical incorporation in it. You can understand there is engineering in it. They're designing something out of it, right? You can see that how science is there behind it. Of course, they have been understanding how much should be the space, dimension, and the strength that it can hold on. And yes, of course, there's a technology incorporation. So the purpose of the picture here is, although there are very simple geometry origamis also, you can try those with your children as per the classes that you teach, not to be making it too complex and difficult for you people. I just took up an example for your understanding so that basically something that you can correlate with. It's that simple as that. So this is called the geometry, the origami geometry. Another thing that we talk about here is tangram. So mathematics teachers will be able to understand what a tangram is. I'll just showcase you here. Now, another concept where what we are doing here is specifically making up different shapes with just 7 pieces of the colored blocks that we have been having. Can you see this? This is a Chinese concept. So this is 200-year-old technique that they basically use, and very important for developing sharp skills among students, focus, determination. What do they do is, with those 7 blocks, you can see in the counting also. So you can see the square of the tangram. You have 7 blocks only, right? Those 7 blocks are supposed to be placed up into different shapes. Right, they can be of similar colors, they can be of different colors as per your understanding that you can actually showcase in the classroom. What is the child doing here? Making different shapes. Simple as that. It's called a tangram. And mathematical shapes, very good for you to be doing in your notebooks, getting it done in the classroom. Bring out 7 blocks and then give it to the students, and they're going to create things. And you can see the wonders that they do it in the classroom. Again, very suitably easy STEM activity to be done in the class. So that's called a tangram. And of course, this again is an incorporation of mathematical skills and ability to be done in the classrooms. Easy. You can understand it also, and good way of incorporation. Very nicely, you can do it in the classroom. Very fun and interesting. Children really enjoy it, and they do take a part. Thank you for the appreciation, teachers. Right. So this is how some things can be added up to your curriculum. Simple, easy. It's not going to add up more hassle to you, making your work easier. It is not at all going to increase your burden at all. So you have a number of ways that possibly can be incorporated. Number of examples that you can share in. So I purposely wanted to take up some different examples where you people can understand how things are being done or can be done in your classes. Right. Another example for which we talk about is beautiful example, human bar graph. Heard about a human bar graph? Any one of you? Might be we are doing it in the classes also, but we are not very clear about what exactly. We do not use the term human bar graph actually. Science teachers, anyone? Do we use the concept of human bar graph?
Yeah, actually, we do not use in generally, but it is something that we do not use papers for making graph. Students only make bar graph by
Correct.
themselves, right? Standing in a
Beautiful.
height wise and
Yes,
representing that
yes.
bar
Thank
graph.
you. Thank you for mentioning, ma'am. This is one of the best examples of, thank you so much, ma'am, for mentioning. So one of the best examples, we do it in the classrooms, we do not term it. We do not use the term of human bar graph. So you can see it on the screen itself. It's an incorporation of how humans can act as a bar graph. Very nice and easy activity with primary kids, and very good if in case they're having a debate or basically a discussion, or they're in a doubt which sport they want to be playing. You can create a human bar graph and you can show themselves, see the length of the graph, which is the higher one, and you decide yourself now who is going to be playing that sport. One of the most common discussions that children, or basically conflicts that they actually have, is to choose a sport. So you can create a human bar graph for that. So it's barely 4 of the options that have been selected, and you can see the children decide themselves to stand as per the choice. So it's called a human bar graph. It's a beautiful incorporation, very easy, suitable activity to be done in your classes. Something that is really interesting for children to understand and know also. So you can just showcase them. They're going to stand it in a particular line, and you see the difference that you are been actually having. Very easy to incorporate. And again, a very interactive activity. Children enjoy when they have been involved in the activity. And the idea of STEM education is actually that, to bring in practicality for the children. Simple as that, right? So mathematical abilities and easy work for teachers also. Simple, we do not have to bring big models and equipments for every other thing, or we need technology. Simple mere activity to be done in the classroom. You will see a drastic vibe change in the class itself. They will be full of energy. So that's what basically we talk about is human graph, right? So these are some mathematical innovations that possibly can be incorporated in your classes. And again, easy, very handy, and good way of involving the children. Coming back to it, we were on M. So we have discussed S, T, E, and M. We were on the mathematical ability. Let's move a little ahead. What ahead now? After maths. Now what have we done? S, T, E, M. Are we done? No, we're not done yet. Okay, we have just understood the concept of how mathematical abilities can be incorporated. Now let's move ahead talking about its incorporation. Now STEM is not all about just let's use it. Okay. Now STEM is not all about just STEM. It's about integrating with the other subjects. How do I bring in that integration? Next comes up is the integration of it with the other subjects. Subject integration is the one. So as teachers were asking about English and accountancy, I discussed that engineering and the concept of technology, or the concept of engineering or science behind it, can be incorporated with the other subjects as well. So you can see a story of a water cycle. Instead of simply being discussing the story in the classroom of water cycle, a child can write a letter. They can write up the story in the form of a story to be telling up its friend. You know, I studied about this concept of water cycle. Are you aware? And he's going to write a journal. I have myself seen those kind of journals. So this basically adds up more amount of knowledge to the children, that how they can be incorporating this. Okay, I'll share one picture with you. I think you will be able to understand. Okay, it's right. There's an issue with the picture. Anyways, let's get back to the topic itself. I'll just showcase you in the end. So talking about the integration here, we have history, we have, okay, I hope it's like this, right? So it's basically talking about is incorporation of it in the form of the various examples, history plus engineering. So ancient tools and models, you can show it with the help of AR and VR, beautiful technology expert, that the children basically enjoy that how these things can be incorporated. We just discussed about Google Earth, and there are a number of ways in possibly this can be done. And a water cycle, incorporating it with English, it's very simple. Idea is that the students writing the stories, they've been actually demonstrating with the help of a picture. It's that easy. So incorporating of it. Now comes to the mandala art, right? Now this is a geometrical analysis of a particular incorporation of art plus mathematics. Let's have a look. Please watch the screen. I'm going to show you a small demonstration of a mandala art, okay, and just have that how it is way different for incorporating these things in a classroom, because we do not know these things. Actually, we are unaware about these incorporations because new things adding up basically becomes quite of a more elaborated work for us. It's not. We need to be finding up different ways that can make the work easier. Just have a look at this picture here. Okay. So I hope you have been aware what an mandala art is, right? It basically talks about a lot of incorporation of various ideas how we can actually be introducing this thing. And this requires some geometrical analysis. How do we do that? We basically do with the help of understanding the dimension. Just have a look here. What am I doing is I'm doing a measurement. You can see how a measurement is being done to be creating the direction here. You can just speed up it a little. Right. So this is again incorporation of art and design. We talked about incorporation of stream, right? We talk about STEAM as well. So this is how incorporation of art can be done with STEM. And it's how equally I'm measuring mathematical analysis, the perfect dimension of the mandala art that I've been having. I have to measure it very neatly, precisely, and then have to work over it. So you can see how beautiful the depiction is, equal measurement with each of the strokes that you're actually making it on the diagram. So the art enthusiast can really enjoy this view of how beautiful the equal dimension pictures have been actually getting in. Interesting, isn't it? Creativity with precision. And this is how it basically works out for us. And we actually bring out such a beautiful picture dimension that we've been having. See how beautiful it is. Easy. Can be done in the classes, right? Yes, of course, the measurement is quite difficult to understand and learn. Not everybody has that acumen for understanding artistic skills, but yes, we can teach. This can be taught. Okay. And even if by watching, if I'm basically digitally showing the children this thing on the screen, it gives them an ability to understand that how I need to work with precision. It's one skill connected to the other. It's not always the perfection in every other thing, but it's just one skill that has been associated with the other. Simple as that. Slide can be seen. Ma'am, can you see the slide? Was the screen visible now?
It was visible. For me, I could see.
Okay, ma'am mentioned the slide can't be seen.
Maybe network issues or something. I
Okay,
think
okay,
others
right.
can see.
Right. Okay. So this is how incorporation of the mandala art, again, a geometrical analysis along with art and design and beautiful way of depicting can come over. So there are a number of ways. There's one technique also called the tessellation. So I think mathematics teachers will be able to understand what a tessellation is, right? So it's again a technique where we discuss how tiles, usually the tiles that you see, the marble, the structure on the floor, surface that you see, it's basically the formation of tessellation is basically the formation of that. If you wish to see, I can show you a image on the screen. It's again incorporation of various ideologies. This is called a tessellation. This technique we utilize and use it at our homes very commonly, right? You're identifying the marble structure on the floor or on the walls. You are designing something and you make these patterns. Even for doodling art, also we do kind of draw these kinds of patterns. This is called a tessellation. It's a mathematical geometrical analysis. Again, right, I'll just try to know. It's tessellation, right? So very easy, most common pattern, you see it everywhere, even on the footpaths. You've been walking your pathway on your pathways, on your footpaths that you're walking, you will be finding up these kinds of blocking characters that have been actually been joined together. It's tessellation. It's again a mathematical ability. It requires the technology, it requires engineering, it requires mathematical skills. There's a science behind it. Again, a STEM example, right? So easy as that, tessellation, very easy to understand. It's again incorporation of various subjects, integration. When you talk about integration of the subjects, it's basically talking about tessellation as well. Okay. So, ma'am mentioned about poem on water cycle, right? Poem on the rain, right? Water cycle with water cycle students can explain rain on the roof poem in class 9th. Yes, ma'am, they can do that. It's incorporation of again integration of English as well as the STEM activities. It's STEM education, it's a part of the same. We talk about integration, many of the subjects can be integrated together. STEM is not just mathematics and science. Other subjects get integrated, and that is what we are discussing right now. Because we discussed about AR and VR, we discussed about the geometrical analysis, anything that we are seeing in a day-to-day lives. We just don't know the term of it, but ultimately it's the same thing that we actually doing. It's not something new. It's already incorporation that we've been doing. Simple as that. So that's how we learn to know that how things have been varying. So even I have seen a poem children been writing on the paper, so on the water cycle. So this again a journal kind of a creating, where the child is been writing. So for example, he's writing a letter to his friend. He's explaining that I learned about water cycle today. Write a letter to your friend. It's incorporation of English along with the STEM education. So again, the same thing, simple basics, and get more powerful when you do it and practically in the classrooms. Okay. So this is how subject integration is being there. Okay. So some of the examples that you can see on your screen is incorporation with a number of subjects. Okay. So you have a number of AI tools also for them. You can use it in your classes for understanding. You have for mathematics, we have paper geometry labs. We discussed about origami right now. You can actually talk about collecting of the data. We can use Excel sheets for that matter. How from an image, I can convert my data to an Excel sheet is again an AI skill, very easily, right? Again, then creating of a budget of virtual money that I can possibly be creating for the children. Same thing, it basically adds on number of games. What they have started to do is they've started to create virtual money. What is it? It gives a power to the child that I am earning. I'm getting a power of money. So it has been basically making me financially strong. It's a financial literacy thing that I'm been basically earning from this game, particular game. I'm winning out and then winning from it. What is the way to it's virtual money? Create a kind of a thought process among children that yes, this is the kind of financial dependence I'm getting. So just to play around the children with the same thing that they're actually doing, nothing different. We discussed about a vinegar and a baking soda example, growing up of tree, right? So I can give a literature to my child, write down your journey, or homework for that matter for holidays. You have actually taken up a sapling and then plant it and see its journey, observe it, click pictures, maintain a journal to it. It's simple incorporation with the same things which we are actually doing. Right, storytelling with tech, you can actually use Canva, you can use Magic Write to write reports and understand. Canva's Magic Write can explain you a number of ways for you to incorporate these things. Online, you can conduct a number of activities. Mock parliaments have been there. Online, you can conducting. Mapping with technology using a Google Earth with AR and VR. So there are endless incorporations of the subject integration that we have. Depends upon you with your subject, how do you bring out a new change and what's a new thing that you can actually add up to your subject. So STEM is everywhere. When we discuss about STEM, it's a basic incorporation that we have in every other thing that we're doing in the classroom. We just need to have an understanding, even in the kitchen that we have been actually doing is actually a STEM. Even the on the paper that we have been designing, even doodling if I'm doing, it's actually STEM. So it's just we give terms to different things. Understanding it basically comes from the practical approach that is available to us. Incorporate technologies, your work will be way easier. There are very simple activities that you can possibly do it in your classrooms also. So this is for the teachers, it's basically a task given to you. You need to be basically thinking about one simple STEM activity for your subject. That's a task for you to take away. You can take a screenshot, think over it today. That will be the best takeaway from the session that you've been attending. Just one activity, think of your own subject that you can incorporate. Nobody's telling you to write down. Nobody's telling you to prepare a lesson plan. Not required. But just one activity, if you can think, or you can discuss right now, if you want to mention right now, anything that is coming to your mind that you can incorporate and do it in the classroom. Very simple, basic designing of the STEM activity. So it's that easy and that simple. Designing of classroom activities. And when you think about your subject, you get a number of ways in which possibly you can incorporate this activity. So one simple STEM activity in your day-to-day life, you can design, you can think, you can share, possibly. I think we are already about the time. So yeah. Anybody would like to share any one activity that is coming to your mind?
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
I have an activity which is I done in my classroom. Actually, I have a computer vision. It's a
Okay.
topic of my subject. So I did this activity. So I create a group of 3 students in the all
Okay.
classroom. So we have three pairs of 3 students. Okay, so when we are giving odd and even numbers, if even
Okay.
number comes, they should say color,
Mm-hmm.
or if another even number comes, first even number is color, second is black and white, and third even number is uh, colorful, color,
Okay.
image, image, color, and black and white. Okay,
Okay.
so this kind of activity I done in my classroom. So
Mm-hmm.
so how to understand this concept of computer vision, because computer vision basically is for the visual basic data on the images space. So intensity is 0 to 225. So this kind of activity I done in my classroom actually, ma'am.
Now this, ma'am, you can incorporate with the help of STEM, where when you were calling out the children, they could have just stood up and been placing themselves with the help of a colors, which would have made a human graph. Right now, this could have been incorporated with the help of mathematics understanding also. At the same time, when we talk about technology that can be incorporated and shown to the children, that specifically, this is a kind of the kind of analysis that you've been doing. Say, for example,
Yes, ma'am.
mathematically, you can show the number of children, those who are for one color and the other. You can actually create a pie chart or a bar graph, something like that, to show the difference in terms of the ratio of the children of the classroom.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is again incorporation of STEM uh, in your classrooms. Very easily we can do it. Just a way to be creating it more innovative and interactive. Simple as that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for
Thank
sharing.
you, ma'am.
Okay, so another teacher, ma'am, has shared for communications, I use these frames. You are astronauts stuck on Mars. Yes, you must use the material given, paper, tapes, and straw to build a survival tool. Once built, create and tell a story in English about how tool is being saved. Very nice, ma'am. Yes, it's one of the very beautiful examples where you can talk about the child's imagination and curiosity is going to think about themselves. One technological innovation I can tell you here is there's an application called DALL-E. So as you have given them this, they can also create a picture or digital. You can show it on the screen also, right? And what do they do is you will see the depiction of your imagination that you've shown them. It is coming in the form of picture to them. So you can actually do that as well. So this is a technology incorporation to your example that you're giving in the classroom. It's actually going to add a more to the imagination. You give them a situation, they've thought about it. Now you open up DALL-E, put the situation on the screen, and it is going to create a picture of it. And the children will be really surprised. So it basically adds up more to the content, how understanding can be better. Right. Anybody else would like to share anything? Okay. Right. So with this, ma'am, we can close for the session. So in the end, before we leave, as we close, right, please understand that STEM is not a subject. It's a way of learning and living. So you don't have to feel burdened about a new incorporation and addition. It's a part of a curriculum which we were already doing. A little innovation, and it's going to make the children's world a beautiful place to be in. And they're going to really enjoy your classes, and they're going to really interact in the classes. That's the most important thing, because children have a very short span of attending and they lose it immediately. So you can incorporate that. It's about building
Thank you so much
curiosity.
for your
Thank you, ma'am.
nice class, ma'am.
Thank you
We
so much,
are
ma'am. Thank you for
learning so
attending.
much new concept during this workshop, ma'am.
Ma'am, the purpose itself is that so we go beyond our textbook and we get to know new things. Whichever stream and subject maybe we should be of, but we should be able to learn and respect each other's subject and gradually learn with them. And that is how you discuss certain examples, and other teachers were also listening, so they also heard about it. They got to know about it. Yes, this thing can be done. So we are on a different fields, doing our best of an effort, but sometimes something that we can learn from each other is the best that we can take. So with this, I would like to close my
Yes, ma'am. You're
session, ma'am.
right.
Please do incorporate this for building curiosity and problem-solving techniques with children, team building, and making them future ready for the next
Yes,
generation.
definitely, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your cooperation, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, if anybody want to add up anything, Meeta ma'am already has shared her feedback regarding. I will share the feedback form in the group only. She used such kind of concepts for corporate training also.
Yes, ma'am. It's basically it's right. Making people more interactive and incorporating the kind of a collaborative effort. It can be practice been done anywhere. It can be done in your family also. So it's not something that we do it in just classrooms. It's a kind of a building that we actually have with each other. Possibly can be in your group of friends also. So just to kind of develop a curiosity and have togetherness in terms of understanding. Thank you, Meeta ma'am.
I just want to say that it was a wonderful session and it
Thank you,
was a
ma'am.
very interesting and interactive session that whatever you have explained as that everything related to STEAM or stream that will going to definitely use in our classrooms that will help our students to learn interestingly and effectively. Thank you so much for all this
Thank you, ma'am.
session.
Thank you. Thank you for being there throughout the session. That's the most important thing. Because if you miss out in between, then ultimately you lose a track of it. That's the most important. Thank you for being there, ma'am.
Yeah, again, we will be bringing out more on these digital tools, AI and coding gradually. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you all for joining us today because it's already a festival time and still there's so many
That
of
is so.
you are here to learn new things. Thank you all.